Can Democrats finally understand the Latino voter in an era of mass deportations?
That headline is a question the editor and the author, Andrea R. Flores, pose in the New York Times opinion piece that went live Monday. Flores, a lawyer who advised on immigration policy during both the Obama and Biden administrations, uses her experience to explain why the Latino vote, which numbers over 50 million people in the United States, can feel abandoned as the federal government ramps up deportation operations.
In the article, Flores paints a picture that is both personal and political.
She tells us about Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, a construction worker who has built drywall in the burgeoning low-cost housing market, who is married, who has 3 children, and who has lived in the United States as an undocumented immigrant for more than 35 years. His story is meant to be a microcosm of many other Latino families who find themselves living under the shadow of a policy that threatens to dismantle the lives they have built.
Flores reminds us that the 2024 presidential election will be the first full cycle since the Biden administration began reversing many of the Trump-era deportation initiatives Proceso 11 while also pushing new partners on immigration. She outlines how the Latino electorate has historically leaned Democratic, with 81% voting for the party in 2016 and 2018, but that the demographic is not a monolith. The author stresses that Latino voters now face double jeopardy, a policy that continues to crack down on immigration while the Democratic Party is expected to continue pushing for comprehensive reforms. In discussing the party's potential to win these voters, Flores says that Democrats need to move beyond the standard narrative of universal background checks or expansion of civil rights. They must address the realities that people like Lorenzo face: an uncertainty of status, fear of deportation that hampers job security, and the way higher-profile immigration actions can keep young people from feeling safe to enroll at universities or to start businesses. She cites evidence from new polling studies that show a divide between those who identify strongly with party loyalty and those who are driven by policy proximity. The Latino community disproportionately values immigration reform, healthcare, and economic opportunity, and when the party's messaging does not strongly mention these concerns, trust can fray. Flores also warns that mass deportations in the present era create a climate of fear that goes beyond the headlines.
She highlights how families with legal status are nonetheless caught in a crossfire, forced to choose whether to stand on the front lines of these policies or to withdraw into the shadows of consumer politics. The author calls on Democratic leaders to act on more than speech, on concrete actions such as safeguarding dreamers' futures, advocating for a path to citizenship, and ensuring that the grocery cart's price tag does not become a filter for voting decisions. She challenges politicians to remember that, for millions of Latino voters, immigration is not a tax issue, it is a matter of life and death. In closing, Flores frames the Latino electorate as both a powerful voting bloc and a community that has been historically left on the margins by the very policies they helped craft. She encourages readers and lawmakers to listen to voices like Lorenzo's, to see that the modern Democratic coalition cannot remain firmly rooted without genuinely addressing the forces that threaten to destabilize the lives they have built for the past generations. That is the heart of the op-ed, a thoughtful reminder that the Democratic publishers in the race for a majority must keep an eye on those who have faced, and continue to face, the reality of mass deportations.
Thank you for listening.
If you want to explore more about Latino voter influences or how immigration policy might shape the upcoming elections, keep tuned to our podcast.